What is an entity? Today I want to break down the myths of what an entity is and what it is not. If you look in the dictionary, you'll see the meaning of the word. It's a thing with distinct and independent existence. It could be an organization. It could be a body. It could be this outfit. It could be you are an entity. I am an entity. Okay? In the spiritual context, when people talk about you have an entity attachment, or I am communicating with entities, or I'm clearing them, what they mean is that they are talking about entities who do not have physical bodies like we as humans do. In the spirit kingdom, there is a wide variety of beings and entities. Some of them have bodies and some of them don't have bodies. Some of them are not defined. You cannot define them, you cannot call them something with an English word. They are maybe just a shape or colors or a form that doesn't make sense to you at all. So, entities are not just one thing. In this reality, people have made it very popular to just clump together all entities. The other day, I was listening to a tarot reader on a social media platform, and she said she was talking about entity, and she immediately went to, and entities are demonic. And I that is just not true. Okay, so some entities can be demons, but they're not all demons. It's like lumping a whole culture together, like saying all Asians are Chinese, right? So, or all African people are from the same tribe. That is this is definitely not true. I work with entities. That's my job. I communicate with them, I collaborate with them, I clear them. I would like to just share this information with you because what people have done is, depending on your belief system, people have many, many different beliefs about the spirit kingdom. And depending on how they grew up, what they were taught, they kind of go with that belief or that viewpoint for the rest of their lives. And this is what it is. And I'm here to just break that myth. Look. So, one of the biggest things, the biggest lies, I would say, about entities. Firstly, that entities are evil. When you, and also a person who can see or communicate with non-physical beings, which is also a term that I often use in my work, is that you are crazy or evil. Okay, this comes from the many, many lifetimes ago when witches were persecuted for being natural healers, or from religion that says that all entities must be demonic. If they don't look or feel or belong to a certain kind of organization or group's description, they must be evil. Okay, so people have collectively chosen that to believe that all entities are evil. The other thing that people do with the spirit kingdom is because of movies that we saw as children, or like uh, even nowadays, is that it is bad. Like all ghosts are haunting. All uh, the monsters. The Halloween whole thing about Halloween and how um, they create nightmares and it's all horror. Okay, so no, right? Not all entities or spirit beings are the same, and definitely they do not even look like the things that we see in the movies often. The other thing that people do is because of the stories of fairy tales, right? So they've made it, oh, it's fairies. They're just things that children believe in that comes from the old folklore stories. Now, I want to share with you that the spirit kingdom has a huge amount of different kinds of entities. You have, firstly, the A lot of people are aware of them, but refuse to be aware of them because it's evil or crazy. Is ghost. Now, I just call them people who've passed on. They don't have physical bodies anymore. They exist and they can stick around in houses or places because they do not know that they are dead. Okay. The second thing is that the other thing that's a very common spirit being is the demons. Okay. Demons are not as significant as people make them out to be, and they are one species, I would say, of the spirit kingdom. There are elementals, which are nature spirits. These beings are usually close to plants or in forests or where there is a big natural element. Okay, there is a huge variety of them, and some of them we cannot define. We cannot lump it all together and say, oh, that's a fairy, or that's a gnome, or that is an elf, or something that we've heard in a fairy tale. Some of them we cannot actually define in our English language. Now, the more fluent you become in the language of energy, the more you realize that sometimes you really just have to let go of all your viewpoints and be present with the being that you come across. The last thing that I want to talk about is quite a common being that you will find people talk about a lot is the spirit guides or people with higher frequency. I call them people because they just, to me, they are just people in different bodies. And these are spirit guides or angels, and even in that category, people can sometimes misidentify them and call them an angel when they are maybe not called an angel. Maybe they just don't have that name that you want to give them, okay? So I want to just tell you that entities are very normal. They exist, even if you are aware of them or acknowledging that you're aware of them or not. So if you deny that they exist, doesn't mean that they are not there. In this reality, a lot of people tend to just deny that they exist and they just don't acknowledge them. And this can actually cause a lot of problems for you, very serious problems, because if you have a capacity with or an awareness of entities, it's going to make your life very challenging. I'll talk about that in another video. But what I want to say is that I would like to normalize this. They are like neighbors. They are like other people. When you go places and there's many peoples around, some of them are good people, some of them are bad people. Some of them are good to be some of them feel good to be around, some of them feel like yucky to be around, some of them are nasty, some of them are dangerous, some of them are just beautiful and glorious. So that's my share about entities. Now I hope you will understand a little bit more about them and make a little bit more effort to not just lump them all together as one thing or one being. Anyway, my name is Leela and I am a sound oracle and I work with the spirit kingdom. I have the capacity to communicate, to clear, to collaborate, and to receive from the non-physical beings in our reality. This is my gift, and this is what I do for a living. So if you would like to book me for a house, home, or land clearing, or just to come and harmonize your space, then feel free to do so. Just comment below or find me on Instagram at Leela Sound Oracle. Anyway, have a good day. Goodbye.